Hi, it's Florian, and in this video I'm going to talk about why I would never buy a Porsche and what I am doing instead. So first of all, disclaimer, I can buy a Porsche, I could afford one, I could go to a dealership tomorrow and just buy a Porsche, and I'm still not doing that. And the reason is pretty simple. Usually if you have something, if you own something, whatever it is, there is a cost attached to it. And the cost is not purely money. It is something that makes you more happy or more unhappy. And owning a Porsche for me would make me extremely unhappy. Because whatever happens to it, so if there's a scratch in the leather or in the paint, or if my wife makes a dent in it or whatever, that would make me very unhappy. And if you own a car, you know that this happens quite often. So it just happens. Or you have a car that just breaks down because there is a manufacturer error, and that also happens to a Porsche, of course. So this would make me extremely unhappy, just owning a thing for fun, and then I don't have fun with it. So that's something I just don't want to do. And it continues. So when you buy a Porsche, I had a colleague who told me that some of his friends bought a Porsche. And when you buy a Porsche, you sign a contract that tells you how much you have to pay. But it also tells you, by the way, if the sales price increases before we ship your Porsche, we will increase your price too. So the only thing he got was an increase of 16,000 euros. And yeah, he still has no Porsche, which is something that would also make me very unhappy. So the cost of ownership from a Porsche for me is extremely negative, because the only positive thing, if you own a Porsche, is driving it. So looking out of the window, being in traffic jam. Why should I buy a Porsche? I would never. And that's the reason why I don't buy one. And that is also the reason why I don't buy expensive watches or other things, because most of this stuff just has a price attached to it that is too high, and that is not money. And when you look at history, or at people who thought about it more than I did, and there's someone who I don't really like, but he said something very interesting about prices, and this guy was Karl Marx. Probably you know him, this communist guy. But he said that there is something called the price fetish. So we attach a price to things that we can measure in money that is not really part of the thing. So a Porsche has a weight in the color and a horsepower in the engine, but it doesn't have a price, actually. It's something we totally make up when we attach to a thing. It's very important, so we attach it to everything, and the price makes a thing a good that you can sell. So most of the things you own are probably goods that someone produced just to sell them, and the Porsche is also one. But the Porsche is one that I don't really want to have. And even expensive watches. When I was a kid, I actually looked at when I was shopping at a jeweler with watches in the window, and I thought, who the hell will buy these nice watches? It's so expensive, but they are so nice. And then actually a few months ago, I looked at the same watches that were there in the 1980s. They are still there. You can buy them. They cost roughly 10,000 euros. I thought, hey, I could buy them, but I don't. And that makes me very happy. So that's actually something that fulfills me a bit, that I can say, hey, now I made it. My parents couldn't afford them, but I can. But I still don't. So it's something that makes me quite happy, that I can buy things that I in the end don't buy. It seems a bit counterintuitive, but when you think about the stuff that you own and how you use it, and if it makes you happy or unhappy, just look at it, and you will find a few things where I think that just made me very unhappy owning it. I thought it would be great, but in the end, it wasn't. And that's pretty normal for a lot of things. And I would recommend just get rid of the stuff where you think that doesn't make me happy, even if it was expensive. You don't want to own that. It just draws your energy away from you. And that's something I learned. So don't look at the price. The price is just something we make up. Look at the real cost that things have emotionally on you, that you own. That is something that every one of you should maybe consider. And the question is now, what do you do? I mean, if you don't buy expensive stuff, if you don't draw your happiness from owning things, and you wear cheap t-shirts and stuff like that, what do you draw it from? And that's something that's very interesting, because you need to find something that you can do for a long time that you like. and that makes you happy. And that could be a lot of things. It could be pursuing a degree. It could even be paying down your mortgage. It could be a lot of things that that give you a happiness for some time. It could be being religious, for example. That gives you happiness until you die, basically, because you think, yeah, if I pray all the time and go to church, I go to heaven, and that lasts until you die. So what I found for me is I need to do something with the money I have left. If I don't buy Porsche and stupid watches, what I do is I invest it. So my hobby is basically investing in stuff, stocks, bonds, precious metals, whatever. And I'm usually quite happy if it grows. If it doesn't grow, it's a bit sad, but in average it goes up, and I like it. I like learning stuff on finance. I like learning things about investing. I like listening to people who are good at that. And it's something you can do basically forever until you die, and whoever inherits what you leave will be very happy if that was your hobby. I'm pretty sure. And it gives you some security, because being able to buy a Porsche and expensive watches is one thing, but if you lose your job or if you get sick or whatever, you at least have something that you can spend then. So what you worry about is then the actual thing and not money. That is also something that this hobby gives you. And that's what I do instead of buying a Porsche, and it makes me much more happy than owning a Porsche. So owning a few stocks is for me much better. Yeah, that's actually all I have to share for today. Let me know in the comments what you are doing, if you have something that you actually hate but you still own it, or if you have found something that really gives you a lot of fulfillment and you're actually pursuing it and it doesn't cost you a lot. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, and see you.